talk about Duelist, and then after that, Chapter 7, short and sweet, final notes to mention, and then that's it. So, we're officially over the halfway point now. This is the longest character section, to be fair, so this might take a little bit, but we're almost done. We're almost done. And first up is going to be Black Panther. Let me just get over to where I was again. No healing this time, so I won't stay near those guys. Alright, let's get right into it. So, Black Panther is an agile, melee-focused duelist who specializes in darting around the battlefield through high-speed dash attacks, and executing vulnerable targets, capable of getting in and out of combat while dishing out high amounts of damage compared to other duelists. His passive, Panther's Cunning, allows him to deal 20% more damage when below 100 health, so just keep that in mind. Almost all of his attacks apply Vibranium on his targets, which can be used to refresh the cooldown on his ability and also provide him bonus health. His primary fire, Vibranium Claws, deal damage in quick succession. This combined with his higher speed allows him to stick to targets efficiently. So, just, normal claw attacks. You can stay towards enemies with your high movement speed. His secondary fire, Spear Toss, is a high-velocity projectile thrown in an arc that creates an area of effective blast that applies one Vibranium mark to hit enemies. This is Black Panther's main way to apply the mark from safe distances, and is often used as a way to either poke enemies before attacking or dispatch low-health targets trying to flee. So, you throw that down. It does a little explosion on the ground as well. If you're running on a wall, you can jump off, throw that down, Kind of like his main distance attack. I forgot to turn this back on. And yeah, that applies one Vibranium mark to hit targets. Spirit Rend and Spinning Kick are two mobility skills that deal damage. So that's going to be your kick. Well, it's not really much of a kick, as more so like a lunge, but then you have your spin dash thing. So you can use these to get out of fights and stuff if need be. But for the main point, you're throwing these down, you're dashing in, doing whatever. So it's very much about just marking an enemy and then going in and doing some damage, then backing out basically. So it's a lot of just that motion. You got to get used to being able to flick around like that. But yeah, I mean, he can be good. He's a little overwhelming nowadays, but if you're a good Black Panther, you can make some good combos with things. I'm not too good. Jump off the wall, you can double jump. Pretty straightforward. And then his ultimate, Mass Descent, summons a giant spectral panther that lunges forward, covering a huge area while applying Vibranium marks to enemies' hit and simultaneously refreshing the cooldown of Spirit Rend. So this is ultimate. Whoops. That's his ult, just big panther guy comes out. It doesn't do the most damage you've ever seen, but it's good, you make it work. And yeah, that's really all there literally is to say about Black Panther. Not much to say. If we go back to that real quick, almost all of his attacks apply Vibranium mark on his target, which can be used to refresh the cooldowns of his abilities and also provide him with bonus health. as you can see down there with the bonus health. So yeah, you just apply marks, go for the target, refresh your cooldown, and repeat. Very straightforward. Next up is Black Widow, another pretty straightforward character here. A nimble assassin. Sorry, Black Widow is a nimble assassin and sniper who can operate efficiently in both close and long distance combat. Black Widow can switch between her melee and ranged modes freely. You can see her primary ranged fire, red broom rifle, is a single shot that deals high damage, as you can see. Does a lot. Our secondary fire activates Straight Shooter, which enters a first-person zoomed view to land more precise shots, which are not affected by damage distance fall-off, so you can, there's no damage fall-off. If the player is currently in her melee mode, she will switch automatically to the rifle when activating the secondary fire, as you can see. And yeah, there's no damage fall-off, so use this as far away as you'd like to. It does basically the same amount of damage as like her normal fire does, just no damage fall off, basically. Her melee Widow's Bite baton has her dual-wielding batons to quickly strike at enemies in close range, as you can see. Nothing more to it. Edge Dancer is a low-range kick that knocks enemies back in the air. The player can press it again upon a successful hit to grapple towards the same or different target for a follow-up kick, as you can see, and then you can grapple to them to do it again, basically. It's good if you can use it properly. It's mostly for getting enemies away from you, but you can rope in another target afterwards to bring them closer. Fleet Foot grants her increased movement speed and access to a higher jump, which aids in her repositioning on the battlefield and also to outrun opponents. Just kind of like Captain America, you just run, you can jump high, It's kind of your main mode of transportation, if you will. And then her ultimate, Electroplasma Explosion, deals high damage in a large radius, leaves enemies vulnerable for a short duration, and also leaves pools of red plasma on the ground that slows enemies, reducing their movement speed by 55%. This is one of the highest slowing percentages in the game, as you can see. It's weird that it puts you in first person, though, to be honest. It's kind of random. But yeah, it's cool. There's not much else to say about Black Widow. She's a sniper. Technically, one of the weakest characters in the game at the moment. But still does, provide good damage. I mean, that's a solid headshot, To, a support or something. That's pretty decent damage for what is one of the weakest characters in the game. I'm just gonna be honest about that. And next up is Blade, who's a little underwhelming at the moment. Blade is a versatile duelist that primarily focuses on attacking at close range and has extra abilities to cover distance. From medium range, he can quickly charge up his attack style to deal damage and apply debuffs. He has higher max health compared to other duelists. Blade is able to switch between two primary fire weapons. Astral Sword Astral Sword is a combo melee attack that deals moderate damage with a fast attack speed, as you can see. And then Hunter's Shotgun shoots a slug projectile, dealing more damage at medium range as it splits into shrapnel, after surpassing an 8-meter distance. Rather than being a shotgun, this weapon is more akin to a hand cannon that is less effective at close or long range, which is kind of weird, you know? You would think you would want to be up close, but that does like the least amount of damage. But if you're like kind of far away, that does more damage. But if you're too far away, then like it doesn't do as much. It's weird. It's a weird weapon, to be honest. It's hard to get used to. You have to know like the proper distance, because up close it just is not going to do what you want it to. So it is more used, like it says, like a hand cannon from a distance, rather than you would think like a shotgun, until they're too far, obviously. So his shotgun's a little weird. His secondary fire, Scarlet Shroud, allows Blade to parry with his sword and grants him 80% damage reduction from the front by consuming energy from a resource meter. Blade also gains immunity to stuns during the first 0.4 seconds of the parry, allowing him to counter efforts? Allow him to counter efforts to shut down his attacks. For every 200 damage that is blocked, Blade regains 1 charge of Dry Walker Dash. Let's go ahead and show that real quick. As you can see, via block damage. Cool, cool, cool. Dry Walker Dash is a traversal attack that has a different effect depending on which weapon Blade is using when he collides with an enemy. If his sword is equipped, Blade will perform a Whirlwind Slash attack that deals rapid damage and applies a healing reduction. Wrong thing. Whoops, whoops. As you can see. And then if a shotgun is equipped, Blade will knock back an enemy and shoot a follow-up shot that knocks enemies and slows them. As you can see. It's kind of weird, to be honest. But it does slow them down. So, I mean, a good combo is to do that and then go into your sword, basically. We'll talk about that in a second here. Bloodline Awakening allows Blade to toggle a boosted state where he can increase movement speed, suffers from reduced healing received, and is forced to use his sword. While in this state, he can build up a meter that increases his attack speed with every attack he lands with his sword. His sword attacks also gain lifesteal, and Blade is able to perform a Whirlwind Slash for additional damage after every cycle of slashes. While the automatic Whirlwind Slash does not charge the attack speed meter, the Whirlwind Slash from Dry Walker Dash is able to apply stacks with each hit. This sounds kind of confusing, but it just makes you stronger and faster, as you can see. And it will increase after some time. But yeah, only when you're using the sword. If you swap back to your pistol, you know, nothing really happens. The meter is capped at 10 hits to reach the maximum attack speed boost. When at this amount, Blade's strength has become extremely swift to take down targets with great ease. The meter also decays over time and can only be refilled by landing hits with the sword. Again, you know, fills it up. 10 hits total. And then, yeah, you can just keep doing this if you wanted to. It's pretty crazy if you're able to get max. You're not going to get max often, though. I'm honest, but it can be good. Blade is also able to see enemies at critical health through walls while he is in the awakened state, allowing him to locate and pick up weakened opponents. I am not sure how I'm going to show that. I don't know how I'm going to show that. How am I supposed to show that? Like that. That how he like glows yellow like that because he's on low health. Not as useful as someone like Daredevil, who's next. And his ultimate 1000-fold slash charges up a dash attack that deals damage upon impact, and then a barrage of slashes within attack range shortly afterward. Enemies hit by the dash are also inflicted with reduced healing, received for 4 seconds. The player can quickly use the ultimate to close to their feet to deal a burst of high damage to opponents at close range without dashing behind them, allowing you to track your opponents easier. Let's go ahead and show that off. As you can see, this is pretty overpowered if you can use it properly. But yeah, the way the charge is just the meter, honestly, you know? So like, you shouldn't activate it manually, you should just wait for it to finish, and then do that. Instead of like doing it immediately, you won't go as far, as you can see. But if we make it go all the way, we go much further. And it does massive damage, it is completely insane. But yeah, just wait and then dash. So press it, but like don't press anything else basically. Or you can use it at your feet as well to do just big burst damage on like a single target. And yeah, it's crazy if you use it properly. His ultimate's pretty busted. Alright, next up is Daredevil. It's gonna be a bit harder. A combo-oriented duelist. Sorry, hold on. Daredevil is a combo-oriented duelist with great potential for mobility and excellent means of both defense and offense. He can cycle between his abilities to maximize his damage output, can scale walls and cling to them, blind beyond a certain distance, making enemies within the range invisible to the player. Daredevil uses Fury as a resource, holding up to 3 charges that are gained through abilities. I'm going to lose my voice by the end of this, holy shit. Crazy. His primary fire, just his jab, is a basic melee strike that grants 0.5 Fury per hit. After using Devil's Lash or Infernal Fury, he enables a 5-second window of time to use Righteous Cross as his next attack, where he lunges forward for 1 heavy strike and gains 0.5 Fury on hit. I don't know how I'm going to show this to you, to be honest, but that's his normal attack. And then when you enter this, you know, it's... God. Daredevil's going to be hard. Okay. His secondary fire objection has Daredevil enter a defensive stance for up to 1.5 seconds, where he deflects attacks and projectiles from the front. He also gains 2 Fury after the ability ends if he deflected at least 1 attack. Let's go ahead and show that. As you can see, it's good for defending yourself, like, you know, if need be, but I mean, the deflecting is the greatest. Devil Latch is a grapple ability that grants 1 Fury upon completion and enables Righteous Cross. If the grapple hits an enemy, the target will be reeled in, which is great for closing distances and preventing opponents from escaping, as you can see. Then Righteous Cross. You can't, like, you know, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say this properly. You can't, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you just grapple people. Pretty straightforward. You can grapple to the ground, kind of like Spider-Man when we get to that. It's important to mention that, like, you go towards the enemy doesn't come towards you, to be fair. But yeah, you can use it as like a normal grapple as well. Don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. Okay. Infernal Fury consumes 2 Fury to unleash either Devil's Chain or Devil's Throw, both of which enable Righteous Cross afterward. So, this ability here that pulls this out. Devil's Chain is a close range strike that grants 25 bonus health on use, and an additional bonus health based on damage dealt. If an enemy is hit within the strike point at the end of the attack range, they take nearly double the damage, granting you more bonus health. So that's going to be for Devil's Chain. So the way you want to use this, right, is you want the tip of that to like hit them basically. Because if you just do it like inside them, you're not going to get like the maximum value out of it. So you kind of have to learn like the distance on it. You can use it on the ground, like directly like that, technically. but it does have a bit of a range on it. But yeah, you want to get people in like that blast radius basically, and then you can, do your righteous cross afterwards. And yeah, you get bonus health. And Devil's Throw hurls the baton to bounce between walls and nearby enemies, slowing down the targets upon hit. Daredevil also gains 50 bonus health when this attack is used. So let's show that. As you can see, still allows you to Righteous Cross as well. So, I mean, like, it's cool. Probably not like your main attack you'd be using. But it does work from a distance if need be, for sure, Devil's Chain is greater for sustain during one-on-one fights, while Devil's Throw is better for accidental picks and damage spread. So, if you're in like a single 1v1 fight, obviously you want to be using your Devil's Chain more often. But if you're like in a group fight with like lots of enemies, then you'd want to use your baton. Or to finish off enemies as well. It's good for that. And then his ultimate, Let the Devil Out. Creates a visible dome around the player that ramps up damage over time and blindness effects for enemies within line of sight. While active, you continuously regain Fury as well. This just basically allows you to combo like crazy. I have, infinite ammo and stuff, so like I can't really show that properly, but... And he also has this like ping thing, so you can like, ping an enemy. You're not really probably going to be using that very much, to be honest, but I mean, it works. It shows like the enemy to your teammates and stuff, so they know like where you're looking. But I don't know why I didn't talk about this other thing, but you also get increased movement speed and damage reduction when they're attacked. So yeah, you probably won't be using it very often, but I mean, it is a thing that exists. And then Deadpool for the third and last time. More of the same thing. Wow, my computer is getting slow as we get to the bottom of this. Deadpool DPS Pool is one of the newest heroes as of the time of making this, and is going to be one of the harder heroes to explain at a basic level. Deadpool is a hybrid ranged melee character who can upgrade his abilities as the match continues. Deadpool is in all 3 roles, allowing him to fit into multiple team compositions. DPS Pool has 250 HP and can throw his zero icon to deal damage with a boomerang-style attack. When upgraded, this will be rethrown 2 more times before blowing up. Exactly like Support Pool, just without the healing benefit to it. So, throw it out, does damage. Let me just level up real quick. Alright, and we get this again. When it's upgraded, they'll be in a strike of 3, as you can see, and the third one will blow up afterwards. So, I didn't mention this, but normally you want to aim like at their feet, because it's like in a dome around it. It's not just... I don't know how to explain this. It's not the way it actually looks. It's like it's a dome shape rather than like a saucer shape in the way that it damages people. So they could be like above it, under it, whatever it may be. Deadpool has 2 passive abilities, same as the rest of them. Passive 1, Healing Factor, provides Deadpool with passive healing if he's out of combat for a short time. He can also survive most ultimates at very low HP, enabling him to flee from combat or set up a quick play if he is not damaged directly after. This will have a longer cooldown, however. And passive number 2, Maximum Flare. Deadpool gains style points for healing and damaging and performing combos. This charges up his ultimate that will go on a cooldown after being used, making it a unique ultimate that doesn't have the standard gauge, allowing him to build his ultimate quickly and using it multiple times in a fight. However, if he is taken out, he will lose all charge progress and start at the lowest level again, requiring him to stay alive to build his ult charge. If the passes weren't confusing enough, Deadpool has 2 ultimates depending on which weapon you are holding. At the time of writing this, DPS Pool should be using his pistol alt more often, maybe? I don't know. I feel like all of them need to use their sword alt, to be honest, but because you get the jackpot, which just makes it last longer and also makes it more powerful, just like the other Deadpools. But yeah, same thing. You know, if they miss a shot, they take damage, as you can see. Or if you pull out your swords, you know, you do your thing, you get jackpot. It also gives a little bit of bonus health as well. I'm actually gonna mess this up. There we go. And this doesn't last as long as the other ones. This is like the shortest one, but yeah, that's that. Not much more to add to it. It's the same as the rest of them. So this pistol alt uses a single target. They'll take damage if he misses any shots, as well as damage over time. If it's upgraded, the sword ultimate starts a minigame that grants a speed boost and healing over time, damage boost, and recharges his sword dash. If you finish the minigame, his ultimate gets stronger and lasts longer, and refreshes his healing passive. And this is going to be Deadpool specific, but I know I said I wasn't going to talk about all these upgrades and what they do, but if you upgrade your sword dash in DPS form, your dash lasts forever as long as you're hitting another enemy, represented by these red arrows there. So if you miss, it disappears, but if you hit someone, you can just use it forever, basically. So basically, if you want to be a good DPS pool, I don't know why you would, because there's better DPS out there, but just basically never miss with this dash, and you can have it forever. Sometimes you are going to have to use it to like get away from something, and that will happen sometimes, but for the most part, just try not to lose that bar. And to end it off, well, I'm actually going to lose my voice before this is over. We're like almost at the end. To end it off, I said it again. To end off the explanation at a basic level, Deadpool gains XP from eliminations, healing, and taking pictures on final hit targets that he uses to upgrade his abilities. The XP gained carries over for all Deadpool roles. This is just the basic rundown, so I won't talk about which upgrades to get first in the bronze to platinum section. We'll get into that another day. Assuming I don't lose my voice fucking permanently after this, because holy shit. This is crazy. We're at like the final stretch here. I'm losing my voice. Will I make it through? I hope so. It would suck to make it this far and then have to do, like, a second take. Would not be good. Where's Hawkeye? Am I blind? There he is. Alright, next up is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is a ranged specialist capable of sniping enemies from very long distances, dealing increased damage the longer he focuses on a target. Has above average health compared to other duelists, and he has access to a double jump. Hawkeye has access to 2 different types of primary fire. His main one being the and can either be charged or shot rapidly at the expense of range. Hawkeye moves slower while charging his bow. This interacts directly with his passive, Archer's Focus, which increases the damage of his piercing arrow if the player keeps the aim reticle at the enemy for roughly a second before firing. The shot can eliminate most non-Vanguard characters in a single hit if it deals critical damage. That's actually changing on Friday, so that won't happen anymore, but yes, it charges up. You can't really see my reticle too well, but there is like a little purple circle to sort of show the radius that this builds in. So, in the next update coming on Friday, or even tomorrow, he won't be able to one-shot anyone anymore, no matter what. So, that he's going to be a lot worse, to be honest, after that, but, you know, he'll still have his uses. And then his blast arrow has limited shots and fires explosive projectiles in a horizontal spread, dealing direct damage on impact plus an additional damage from a spell field generated by the explosion. which you can press Y to switch those up. There's no reason like charge this or anything, it blows up. Not much to really say about it. It's good if there's like a group of enemies, or like if you're trying to get away from someone, technically you could like, you know, do that. I think it'd be better to like do that so you get like a big burst on a target if they're like up close. But yeah, it shoots bombs. There's nothing else I could say about it. Hypersonic Arrow is a single fast piercing projectile that deals Hawkeye has access to effective close-range moves. His regular melee attack. Should these not be separate sections? Am I crazy? Okay. down to the ground, blah blah blah. Hawkeye has access to effective close-range moves. His regular melee attack, which in addition to dealing damage, also allows him to deflect direct hits from incoming projectiles, which I think is this. So let's... No? Am I wrong? I don't know how to time it right, but I can hear the dings happening, so it is working. He can even deflect Magneto's meteor, but it has a small window of opportunity, and Hawkeye will still receive damage. Hold on, wait. Oh, this. That's the Sonic Arrow. That's why I was so confused. I was like, where is that? That's the Hypersonic Arrow. Crescent Slash is a rising attack that slashes enemies upwards. As you can see. Not much to really, you know, say about it. It does its thing, you know. I don't think that deflects bullets, though. No. Just his normal melee attack deflects bullets. If you can time it right. I can't, because I don't play Hawkeye. And after the next update, I probably never will. To be honest. His ultimate Hunter's Sight temporarily creates static after images of the enemies when they move. When Hawkeye shoots these after images, the damage will be redirected to the corresponding character. So I can really only show this with someone that's moving, like Hawkeye. And that'll show after images that you can hit and deal damage. They do fade away after a while. But yeah, not much else to really say about Hawkeye. He's good at the moment, but after the next update, coming in the next day or two, he's not going to be as good. Because he's not one-shot squishies anymore. It's going to be at least a two-shot, I believe, now. Which kind of sucks, because, I mean, now you can just kind of spam a little bit now, after the update, because it's going to do, like, the same amount of damage. So, he's going to be in a weird spot after the next update. And next up is Hela. Hela is a long-range specialist with decent mobility, high damage output, and potential for conditional area of effect explosions. Can fall from heights. Her passive creates a small explosion on the target's location when Hela deals the final blow. As you can see, a little crow pops up that does damage. Her primary fire, Night Sword Thorn, is a high damage hit scan attack. As you can see, it does big damage. Not so much to bodies. You mostly want to be getting headshots with Hela, to be honest. Her secondary fire, Piercing Night, throws 4 blades that explode after a few seconds. These projectiles can latch onto enemies, and each blade deals individual damage. In addition to exploding after a brief duration, the blades will explode even if they are not attached to enemies. As you can see, there's the blades, and then boom. You attach it to an enemy, go boom, boom. And there's a trail to it, you know, so you can miss shots if you're, moving around, you know. I missed a few there, as you can see. But yeah, it's good for like damage on like a tank or something. Just throw it into the middle of them. Soul Drainer is a loved energy sphere that deals minimal damage but can briefly stun multiple enemies in a small radius. This ability can interrupt certain ultimates, which is your little void ball thing there. The stun is very brief though, mind you, so like don't get any crazy ideas with it. And it does a little damage as well. And it has an arc to it, so you can technically like throw that kinda. Probably not. You probably don't want to be arcing it like that. But like over something like this, you know, you do like this, you know. Okay. Astral Flock transforms Hela into a high-speed crow and allows her to fly forth in any direction. Being useful as an escape or repositioning tool, she is completely immune to all damage and crowd control abilities during flight, which is good for surviving, obviously. But yeah, just allows you to reposition or to get out of fights, which is kind of her whole thing, you know, is you just kind of find a spot, you know, where enemies can't really see you, and then you just take them out. And she doesn't have a lot of damage fall off, like for a headshot. I can't actually get a headshot from this far away, so I can't even show that. Okay, don't try and do that. And then her ultimate, Goddess of Death, sends Hela high into the air. The player's field of view changes to first person, and the player can throw crows that explode on impact in a huge radius and deal heavy damage. When activating Goddess of Death, Hela gains a hefty separate health bar of 1,000. Even if the health is depleted, she will not die, but will instead revert to her normal form when the health, with the health she previously had before activating her ultimate. As you can see here. No seconds. And yeah, not much else to really say about Hela. You need good aim, you need to be getting headshots, good positions, you know. Hela is a staple of this game when it comes to like DPS, you know. A good Hela can make or break your games, absolutely. And next step is human.
Is it hot in here or is it just me? Oh right, it's totally me.
That can also act as effective area denial, for defending objectives or attacking enemies surrounding a certain area. Consistent free flight giving him advantage on attacking enemies from the skies. His primary fire cluster, launches a scatter shot of fireballs that can do lots of damage mid to close range. Each shot consumes one fire cluster out of its. Regenerating fire clusters is extremely fast, as it takes 2 seconds to load from one cluster to all 6 of them. This can be used indefinitely without stopping, as when he reaches 0, the regeneration of his fire cluster is consistent, and thus can effectively keep launching them. It should be noted that while attacking when there are one or no fire clusters, that's a hard word to say, his attack speed will be lowered somewhat. So I can't show the speed decrease because I have infinite ammo on, but yeah, you shoot a scatter from, which is best used mid to close range. Does good headshot damage if you get a headshot. Body damage is kind of meh, you know. You mostly want to be getting headshots up close with Human Torch. His secondary fire, Blazing Blast, creates a small AoE field that damages over time. Human Torch has a limit of 3 Blazing Blasts he can create at any time. Each Blazing Blast takes 3 seconds to regenerate. Each Blazing Blast field lasts up to 6 seconds before disappearing, Enemies take the most damage if with the Blaze Blast directly, but also take continuous damage if they stand within his field. So that's going to be this right here. As you can see, you can place multiple of them as well, and this combines directly into his other abilities as well. So, yeah, shoot 3 of those down. Good damage. Plasma Body allows the Human Torch to fly at a slightly faster rate. This ability cannot be used at the same time as using his other abilities. So, you just fly a little faster. But you can't attack, though. But it's good for getting back into the fight. Like, I don't know, maybe you're getting damaged a lot, you know, you can go behind cover. But as soon as you attack, you can't get this speed boost anymore. Prio Present can be activated when 2 or more Blazing Blasts are active. When 2 are active and are within range of each other, can create a firewall which will damage enemies who walk over it. When this ability is used, when 3 or more Blazing Blasts are active, it will create a geometric shape with the Blazing Blast acting as connected dots. When making a shape like a triangle, rectangle, etc., the area also acts as a flame field to which any enemy caught within will take damage over time. I know that sounds kind of complicated, but you throw 2 of these down, and then you could do this, which will make a fire wall, like that. Or you can set up some sort of shape, like a triangle, and then do. And now they'll take damage within this area as well as, you know, the actual fire itself. So, yeah, like, I mean, the shape is dependent on you, I guess. Usually I just go for triangles personally, but I mean, you know, you could do, like, it's mostly just triangles. How do you even make a rectangle? Now that I'm thinking about it. I have no idea. I have no idea how to make a rectangle. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If anyone knows how to figure that out, let me know. Because I can only make triangles, apparently. Flaming Meteor is an ability that allows the Human Torch to dive down rapidly and cause explosive damage, which also knocks back enemies caught within the blast. This ability will also destroy any Blazing Blast caught within his damage field, dealing extra damage within the blast radius of Flaming Meteor. Human Torch also gains temporary bonus health on landing. So let's just show this normally, if I can get up here. You crash down, do like a big boom of damage. But if you do like that, and then you like dive towards that, it'll cause those to explode, basically. If you go like this, I don't think anything happens. Yeah, no, nothing happens if you do like that. So the only time you'd want to like launch that down is if you're gonna dive on someone, basically. And then his ultimate supernova causes the Human Torch to explode with fire, causing damage to enemies around him. While in this state, his blazing blast will turn into flame tornadoes, in which deal significantly more damage to enemies within his radius. While in this state, his plasma body and blazing blast do not have a cooldown and thus can be used indefinitely while the ability is active. This comes at the expense of Prio Present being unused so Supernova's duration. So you can't like do this with the ultimate being active. But you can just spawn in 100 million tornadoes. Or just like dive in, tornado, dive in, tornado, dive in, tornado, you know. And it lasts for a pretty damn long time too, I'm gonna be honest. That's like 9 seconds right there that you could just be spamming tornado around. You could do the math on that. That's like 10 tornadoes ish. Something like that. And yeah, that's it for Human Torch. he can be good. He's kind of weird because like he wants to be close range, but he also doesn't for some reason. Because like he does more damage when he's up close, obviously, and he has this to get close. But that's more of like you dive in, shoot, and then like back out it, and then just kind of like repeatedly do that. Obviously, you want to shoot one of these down, then go in, and then shoot. So it's a weird combination of just going up and down, basically, rather than trying to be like a little mosquito in their face, basically. And then, you know, if you have like a group of them, just boom, 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 just create, you know, just do that. You can dive in, finish them off. Pretty straightforward, I'd like to say. He's a weird one, you know. Like I said, he wants to be up close, but at the same time, so it's kind of weird. And you'll probably die more often than not trying to be up close wants to be, because he doesn't really have any defenses at all. So, he's a weird one. Next up is Iron Fist. Iron Fist, I should drink the first one. We're almost there. Iron Fist is a nimble martial artist whose abilities revolve around mobility and survivability, avoiding attacks and lunging at the enemy lines to dispatch his targets in a quick and effective manner. He has access to a variety of movement and damage abilities to get in close range of enemies and unleash a barrage of attacks, capable of jumping 3 times while capable of running horizontally along walls. This guy just has a little bit of everything, to be honest. And you could just, you know, 3 jumps is a lot, to be honest. So you kind of just like, you know, you can come in, do whatever, and then just kind of leave. His passive gives him bonus health after assisting in defeating an enemy. As you can see, he gets bonus health. His primary fire consists of 5 consecutive strikes delivered at high speed. Each successful hit decreases the cooldown of Dragon's defense by 1 second. So let's just shoot it again. Nice little combo. His secondary fire, Dragon's Defense, gives him the ability to block incoming attacks, whether melee or ranged, by granting him 30% damage reduction. Damage taken during Dragon's Defense is converted to bonus health. After the ability ends, he can parry almost any attack in the game while under the effects of Dragon's Defense, even from behind. This includes certain ultimates such as Iron Man's inevitable pulse cannon. After using Dragon's Defense, Iron Fist's primary fire temporarily changes to a flurry of punches, increasing his attack damage against higher health opponents. This grants Iron Fist the means to stay in close range with opponents, especially to take down both vanguards and specialists alike. So, show that off, as you can see. And then we have bonus health. That was the wrong ability, actually, I lied. That's the one I was looking for. It's just a quick little parry, you know, a quick little parry. And then damage turns into bonus health. And then you also have access to a much faster attack. That'll do more damage, but the more health the enemy has, basically. So you mostly want to use this against like tanks to whittle them down very quickly. Oh, and he has automatic like lock on. I don't think I put that in the lesson here. Harmony Recovery allows Iron Fist to recover health, converting the excess health into bonus health. Kind of like this, you know, block damage. Go this. You get bonus health, a lot more bonus health, and then yeah, you just kick some ass. You can't move around when you're like this though, and there is a cooldown on it, but that's how you recover your health. He also has a kick, a high range flying attack that covers a decent range. Its damage is more than double against enemies who are below 50% health. This ability, did I read that right? Against enemies with, yeah, okay. This ability is highly versatile as a gap closer or an escape tool, as well as a way to finish off enemies with low health. So, let's just show this on like a normal enemy. You go into like a little kick, as you can see. But if the enemy's health is low, you do a lot more damage. And you can use it to like, get out of fights and then jump away, basically. So you either want to use it to get away from something, or if you have an enemy that is low health, like so, you could just, finish them off rather quickly. And then his ultimate, Living Chi, instantly grants him an enhanced version of his attacks, temporarily increasing his movement speed, increasing his damage dealt, and the range of his attacks. In addition, Dragon's defense cooldown is reduced by 80%. So, you do a lot more damage. The good old cheaper town hoe is what everyone calls it. And then, you have your Dragon Kick as well. Does more damage. And then, your other... Yeah, that's Iron Fist. He can be cracked if you use it properly. You mostly want to be focusing on enemies that are low health, or enemies like a Vanguard. Again, like, he can be close range, but like, to a degree, Like, you want to plan your attacks accordingly, rather than just like going in all willy-nilly. So, kind of, he's like the diver, I guess. The diver play style, where you wait for something to happen and then you do what you gotta do, kind of thing. But unlike most divers, he can just be in the fight the entire time as well. Especially with his kick, way that you can heal up a little bit. They can kick back in, and then you could use that, get stronger. He's pretty straightforward. He's just a good melee character. Not much else I can really say about it. And next up is Iron Man.
People want to be led, I want to be in charge. Win-win.
Okay, so Iron Man is a long-range specialist who excels with area of effect and single target damage while having unrestricted horizontal and vertical movement, continuous free flight, granting him a high ground advantage to rain down continuous fire on enemies from above. His primary fire deals direct damage on impact as well as in a radius around it. After firing his main fire twice in a row, the third blast launches a faster projectile that deals more damage at the expense of consuming more ammo. As you can see, 1, 2, and then boom. So, this does more damage if you hit them directly, but it does have a burst on it. If you were to go up into the air, as you can see, it sort of damages them from the ground. Usually what you'd want to do is hit them twice, and then your third attack would be more of on the ground. But yeah, this is his whole thing. Literally just that. Have I been pulling this menu up every time I've been talking about these? Oh no. Oh dude, I haven't been doing that this whole time. It's gonna be so awkward. Oh god. Okay. Now that I've caught on to that, I'm so sorry if I'm using this instead of this. Wow, that's embarrassing. Okay. His secondary fire unit beam is a mid-range beam of focused energy that deals continuous high damage. This ability possesses one of the highest damage per second in the game. But it's great. Good attack, has decent range. Okay, not so decent range. But yeah, if you're fighting a single person, you usually just want to use that.
What do I hit next? I'm taking requests.
Hyper velocity jets Iron Man forward, temporarily doubling his movement speed. Instead of being on a cooldown, this ability consumes an energy resource that recharges over time, works as an effective tool to escape from dangerous situations or to reposition quickly. As you can see, you fly around. Very cool, Mr. Stark. Very cool. When you're doing this too, you can also shoot missiles. I don't know if I say that in here. I'm just trying to read ahead. Yes, I do. Okay, cool. Armor Overdrive temporarily amplifies Iron Man's capabilities, increasing the damage of his Repulsor Blast and Unibeam, and makes the ammo pool infinite. Instantly refreshes the energy required for hypervelocity and makes the resource meter infinite, grants him bonus health. So, basically, always use this, just all the time, forever. Never not do this. Basically, you do more damage, you can get away indefinitely, you know. It's just great, it's good. You can also shoot missiles when you're like this as well. So yeah, you want to be using this as and then Micro Missile Barrage launches a bombardment of scattered missiles beneath Iron Man, dealing explosive damage in an area only available during hypervelocity and armor overdrive, which again, you can fly around, shoot missiles like that, or you can overdrive, and then shoot missiles like this as well, which I don't see people doing too often. It's not great, to be honest, like as an attack, it's not the best. But if you're like above everyone should be as an Iron Man, it can be good in like a group, if there's like enemies, but you can see like the range of this thing is kind of all over the place, so it's not very consistent. But like if there's a big group of enemies, you could just just do that. No need to just like dive down, power up, and then just do this. You do a lot of damage like that. And then his ultimate, the Invincible Pulse Cannon, fires a massive energy blast in a straight line that deals massive damage in a large area when it lands. This ability deals 1,000 damage upon impact. Deals additional damage in a sphere around the projectile as it travels, as you can see. This thing just insta-kills everything, basically. There's no way around it, other than, freezing him or shielding it or whatever, but the radius, pretty massive radius too. You can absolutely take out an entire team if you plan it right. So, like, if you see, like, a Doctor Strange or, like, a Magneto or something, and notice that, like, Magneto's a better example. If Magneto just bubbled himself and a teammate, you know that he doesn't have a bubble to use, so that'd be a good time to just wipe out the team. You have to plan right. It's not something you can just... You're like, oh, I'm gonna just do this, because why not, You have to plan for it. And you can wipe out an entire team if you use it properly. Especially in like a close range. But you can also do, if you don't want to miss, is just come up to someone, just like do that. Totally an option because it won't kill you, which might change in the future. And then I don't know if this. No, it doesn't have piercing, so we'll just hit the first thing. But yeah, it's I think the strongest ultimate in the game ever. Because it just insta-kills everything. Like, nothing will survive that. But at the same time, as soon as you say, you're dead. Usually, everyone's going to look at you and do that. So it's kind of like a Scarlet Witch's ultimate. You want to, like, be behind cover, use it, and... sorry, I did that wrong. Be in cover, come out of cover, and then use it quickly. Usually behind something, like up high, so they have like less time to react to you. Kind of like that. So, yeah, that's Iron Man in a nutshell. He's pretty basic and easy to understand. Next up is everyone's new favorite Magic, who has gained a lot of love recently. So, Magic is a sword-wielding um, skirmisher? I don't know if a diver, if you will. With great survivability, who excels at close-range combat, capable of getting in and out of fight using her stepping disc, portals, and umbral incursion, has the highest melee range in the game due to her large sword hitbox. Her passive, Limbo's Might, converts 30% of all damage done into bonus health, up to a maximum of 150 bonus health. This gives Magic amazing survivability as long as she continuously strikes at her enemies. Her primary fire, Soul Sword, consists of slashes in a wide arc in front of her. Players can frame cancel the end animation of these attacks by using any of her other abilities, or you can combo with a normal melee button attack for higher DPS. As you can see, this is the normal swings. But if you do this, then punch, you can attack a lot faster that way. So let me show you the difference here. This is just attacking normally, kind of takes a bit. But if you combine this with your punches, it happens just a little faster. Like, it's noticeable, but like it's not much. Her secondary fire, Magic Slash, is a charge-up attack that launches a projectile in a straight line. The damage increases based on charge time. So you charge this up, launch it at someone, you tap fire it, which is probably how you're going to be using it mostly. It's just tap firing it. And you do get bonus health for all your attacks. So this is a good way to engage a fight. As you do that, then you get in. Or it's good for hitting flying targets as well. There's not one around here for me to show that to you, but you can use it to hit flying targets. Roll Incursion is a quick dash forward that covers a decent distance. Upon connecting with an enemy, Magic will follow up with a rising slash that launches her opponent upward. This ability gives Magic a lot of mobility and flexibility, as it can be used both offensively and defensively. So, as you can see, you can sort of you can glide around. You get pretty far too. But if you hit an enemy, you launch them into the air, allowing you to combo them basically. And that puts them in like a slight stun as well. So, pretty crazy. You definitely are going to be using this to escape more than anything, but you do this, do this, do this, you're usually good. Or you can do this and then that, technically, but I feel like it'd be best to charge this up, do that, go with it, boom, boom, dead. Stepping discs. Okay. Stepping discs are Magic's main mobility and survivability tool. Magic is completely immune to damage when inside the portal, as well as briefly while entering and exiting. This ability has 2 charges. Upon exiting a portal, she can execute 2 different attacks depending on the button input. So pressing the primary fire executes like a whirl, a full 360 spin that deals reduced damage in a wide area around her. Or by pressing the secondary fire, she uses Demon's Rage, which temporarily summons a small stationary limbo demon that repeatedly strikes the air in front of it. You're probably not going to be using that one as much, but you go like this, you do a little swing, or you go like this, and you can show a little demon guy. Little demon guy is really not that useful. I mean, like, there's going to be moments he's going to be good, but don't rely on it to get you out of like a sticky situation. So her kit mostly revolves around like doing that, comboing people and whatnot. It's pretty straightforward. It's just like the timing of everything needs to be good for you to pull off some like sick maneuvers. And you can also use the portals to like move around, so you can like dash up, then portal, you know? And then her ultimate, Dark Child, temporarily transforms magic into a demonic form. Two light slashes in addition to the initial slash. Magic Slash is faster, deals much higher damage, and has a shorter cooldown. Umbreal Incursion is faster, covers more distance, deals more damage, and has a shorter cooldown. Stepping Discs Teleporting is faster and has a shorter cooldown. And the 360 Spin deals 2 delay slashes in addition to the initial slash and covers double the radius. Demon's Rage deals more damage, and the demon has higher health. So just makes everything she does just better overall. Like, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, you basically want to get this as often as possible, and you will dominate people like crazy. It does wear off quite quickly, though. Just be aware of that. And yeah, that's all there is to magic. Not much I can say. It's mostly just getting, like, you know, looking for a target, knowing exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, and then sort of just like fall back afterwards. But she's good in like a normal brawl too, because you could do this like the spin attacks, or like, you know, there's a group, you can place a demon down, you know. So like in a normal brawl, she's pretty good too, but you probably want to be using her more like a dive. But yeah, magic's pretty good, and someone I would like to use more, to be honest. Alright, next up we have Mr. Fantastic, which is an odd one. Mr. Fantastic is durable mid-range brawler who can disrupt the battlefield with his stretchy powers while making himself and his allies more resilient. He has the single highest max health His passive, Elastic Strength, builds up his special elasticity, can't say that word for some reason, gauge, which when filled grants him an inflated state for 6 seconds, empowering him. The damage of his primary fire increases, and it now deals damage in a small area. He gains 450 bonus health when inflated. His movement speed increases by 20%. And elasticity stacks are gained each time Mr. Fantastic hits enemies with any offensive abilities, up to 100 stacks. So we'll just show that real quick of what that means.
That was unusually satisfying.
As you can see, you sort of build up this meter. Then you go into this inflated state, which does more damage, and you have more health. And then you go back down to normal again. His primary fire stretchy punch elongates his arms to deal damage from a distance. This attack can hit multiple enemies at once if the player quickly moves their arm around. So, you can either use it kind of like Groot, you know, just like your normal attack, but you can also swing it across as well to like hit multiple. It's weird to do, and you're probably not going to do it often, but it is something you can do, especially if like a lot of enemies are you know, taking a lot of damage. I don't think the sweeping works for that, but yeah, you can hit multiple targets if you sweep your attack. His secondary fire, Distended Grip, stretches one of his arms to grip an enemy. Pressing the primary fire on the same target makes Mr. Fantastic throw his other arm to pull the target enemy towards him. This ability grants 30 elasticity, even if an enemy is not hit. If there is another enemy nearby, the player can target them after gripping the first enemy, which results in Mr. Fantastic yanking both enemies into each other, knocking them up and dealing damage. So let's go ahead and show that. You do like this, you can bring them in. You can take him out that way. Or You can grab one and grab the other. I can't do that for some reason. Like that,
Got you.
then like that. There you go. Then they'll hit each other. You probably won't use that too often, to be honest, but it is an option.
Predictable.
Yeah, then you get bonus elasticity no matter what, which is good.
That was unusually satisfying.
Then flexible elongation causes Mr. Fantastic to grab a target and dash towards them while gaining 75% bonus health. This ability grants 30 elasticity and has 2 charges. It can be used on either enemies or allies. If used against enemies, it deals damage on impact. If used on allies, it also grants them 75% bonus health. So let's go ahead and see that.
Let me return
Whoops.
the favor.
So go ahead and shield him.
Trouble has arrived.
You can't see his health, or you can go in and damage them. And then you can technically like combine that like with this. He's not very combo heavy like someone else like Magic, but. And then reflexible rubber temporarily stretches Mr. Fantastic into a larger form for 3 seconds, whereupon he becomes a shield that can absorb up to 300 damage. Any attacks directed at him will be absorbed and later redirected back at as a small projectile. Can be cancelled prematurely by reactivating the ability. The redirected damage is equal to 60% of all absorbed damage. Mr. Fantastic also becomes immune to all forms of critical. This ability can even absorb damage from ultimates, most notably Iron Man's Pulse Cannon and Scarlet Witch's ultimate as well, which is this right here. And then you shoot a little projectile out. He's very held down like this, to be honest. He just has so much health. It's crazy. Damaging him is probably not even a good idea when he's like that, because he's just going to send it back to you. It's kind of why he plays like a tank, because you can just go in like that and then like be big and whatnot. His other attacks, like his grip and stuff, I mean, like it's okay, I guess. You probably won't be using it as often, aside from like that. You know, pull him towards you. And then his ultimate Brainiac bounce causes Mr. Fantastic to jump high into the air and slam down onto the ground, dealing damage in an area. He will also leap at least 3 times. After leaping at least 3 times, he can leap 1 additional time whenever he hits an enemy, up to a total of 6 leaps. Each leap increases the damage of the next leap by 10, up to 50 extra damage. Each leap adds a stacking slow of 10% to enemies hit, up to 60% to reduce movement speed. Using this ability on areas with a low ceiling will cause Mr. Fantastic to bounce faster. So as you can see, you just gotta bounce around, you know. And you do more damage the longer that goes on for. But if you're in like a small, like little room like this, you just attack faster basically, because you're not going up into the air as much. So using this in an enclosed space is pretty helpful. And yeah, that is it for Mr. Fantastic.
The moon gives me strength.
We're almost at the end of this, boys. Almost there. Just a little more.
There, ahead. I found them.
I say a little more, but by a little more I mean like, you know, 15 more pages or so. Alright, next up is Moonlight. Moon Knight. I don't know why I said it like that. Moon Knight is a long-ranged area of effect specialist with high mobility who excels at dealing conditional damage to multiple enemies grouped together. He has access to a double jump, can glide upon reaching a certain height, and has access to a grappling hook, which pulls Moon Knight towards the location. His primary fire, Crescent Dart, is the core of his gameplay. being unique as it can bounce between enemies close to each other up to 3 times. His primary fire crescent dart is the... Okay, I put that twice. Cool. Love noticing mistakes live. So, yeah, that's his main attack. It's great. It's awesome. It's the best. Everyone loves it. Everyone hates it. It's great. You can get headshots as well. Only if enemies are ripped up, though. I mean, if it's like one single enemy, it's not going to be as good. You know? Like, if it's just one dude, it's not going to be that good. But, like, being able to bounce around like that, that's just one shot. That's how much damage, like, just one shot did. So, you know. His secondary fire, Moonblade, launches a projectile in a straight line that deals higher damage than his Crescent Dart, but is limited by a cooldown. Much like Crescent Dart, it can also ricochet between enemies and Ancient Onks. Moonblade can be fired immediately after using primary fire. It can be used to cancel primary fire recovery frames as well. So let's just see that normally, as you can see. But you can combine it with, you know, just like that. Just to do massive, insane damage if planned accordingly. And now this is going to be the Ancient Ankh. So Ancient Ankh is a tool that further enables Moon Knight's kit and makes his projectile ricocheting even stronger. Both his Crescent Dart and Moonblade will ricochet from it and to any enemy within the Ankh's spell field range. This gives his ricochet an additional area of effect and allows the player to strategically deal quick burst damage to isolated enemies. When thrown, the Ankh briefly pulls enemies towards it while dealing a small amount of damage. The Ankh can be attached to any surface and will remain there indefinitely until destroyed. Ankhs persist even if the surface they are placed on are destroyed. A maximum of 2 Ankhs may be active at one time. So, as you can see, it like you can hit the enemy and it'll bounce off of that. Like how do I show this? You don't have to hit the enemy directly. You could aim it at the Ankh itself, basically, to just do insane damage. Usually, what you want to do is you throw that down and then you just whoop boom boom whoop boom, and then you will usually kill whatever it is you're trying to kill. And then if you have 2 of them side by side, they will bounce between each other. Now, normally if you have something to hit, like bounce off of, you don't really have to use these, to be honest. Like if there's a big group of enemies. But if there's like 1 or 2 enemies just kind of on their own, you'd want to solo them out like that, basically. And then his melee attack is Triple Eclipse. It is a 3-hit combo with his whatever that is called. The first strike briefly knocks enemies up. It may be used to provide space between an attacker when Moon Knight is attacked at close range. Let's go ahead and get these Ankhs out of here real quick.
Rise and fall.
So we'll go ahead and show that. And then his ultimate, Hand of Khonshu, creates a large radius portal in the location, creating a spell field that deals high multi-hit damage. As you can see, like this. Everyone knows about it, dude. Everyone knows that the moon will haunt you forever. But yeah, does insane damage. It's all there really is to Moon Knight. Not much else to get into here.
You are in the presence of royalty. It would be wise to show some respect.